This is going to be your guide to getting the new pals in the Palworld Terraria update. So yeah, there's quite a few of them, and we also have elemental forms for existing pals. So if you enjoy the video, or if it ends up helping out in any way, don't forget to leave a like, share with your friends, and comment your thoughts down below. So we have Herbil. Herbil can be found in the new islands. So now we have these lush tropical islands, and you can find a lot of the new grass pals there. Herbil's skill, while in the team, it will revive the player when incapacitated. That's interesting because you are giving up a slot for maybe a more powerful pal, but having that support utility might help you out in the earlier mid-game if you're really struggling with some of the bosses. Then we have Icelyn. When fighting together, changes the player's attack type to ice, so this is going to be early access to ice damage that you can just kind of go south to this iceberg right here, you can find the pals. Same thing for Frostplume, so Peacock Pounce. When fighting together, Frostplume's icy aura sharpens your focus, improving reload speed. That's interesting. Now it's going to come down to like data mine and if it's actually worth condensing this thing and getting a crazy high partner skill and then like super fast reloads. And even though the in-game meta and best like pals with their active skills are solved at this point, having different ideas for like builds and what you want to do with your character and your playthrough, it's also pretty cool. And again, you can get this pal fairly early on. Then we have Palumba, can be ridden, runs faster over grass. So now we have a Dezamu for grass. Neat. And you can find it on the islands. Then we have Braloha, that's only going to be on the south tropical island. This is also where the Terraria dungeon is. So while at the base, shortens the time it takes for pals assigned to the breeding farm to produce eggs. Sure thing, boss, but like, you can only have one, which is actually nice. The effect, like, it's just saying, effect does not stack. You put that in your breeding base, now you get eggs faster. That's pretty good. Munchill, while in team, makes the food in your inventory less likely to spoil, and you can find that in the north and south iceberg, as well as just the ice mountain. So that's kind of cool. Then we got Polapup. Polapup's going to be found in the north one. So this is going to be like a higher level area, kind of late game to get the Polapup. And then you can slide quickly down slopes. Don't know about the usefulness of that, but alright. Kind of silly looking. And then we have Turtacle. So here we can see what it looks like when a pal can be fished up, that we have like all of these little dots scattered around on the coast or like in water areas. So that means you can fish for it, and this is going to be like the jellyfish looking fishing spot. You can also just kind of find it on the land in this island, and this island isn't a tropical island, it's actually a shipwreck. So you find it on the shipwreck to the east, yeah, in like the middle east part of the map. Turtacle Terra, so fishing around the desert is going to be how you get it. There's also this tropical island, so that's going to be a nice spot for it. Turtacle is going to reduce the weight of armor in the player's inventory. And then we can also have this one increase the attack power of ground pals while reducing the weight of armor. Then we got Jellroy and Jelliette. So Jelliette, yep, you can just kind of fish it and find it in a couple of places. Now, you don't only have to fish it up, you can find it on the iceberg to the south. So yeah, this is just like a really good place to catch a lot of the new pals. And then for Jellroy, you can find it to the northwest of the volcano, and it's just going to be in the Shipwreck Cove area. Now, this is an interesting one. While in team, increases items obtained from salvage. So yeah, you want that. And then while Jelliette and Jellroy are at your base, their watering speeds are increased. Now, it's only watering level 2, and we got some other pals that are like crazy. Watering level 4 for a small pal? But is it worth using watering manuals on these pals, and then you only need like 2 of these to handle all of the watering on an entire base? Maybe. That's going to be for like future videos and stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Then we got Gloopie. While fighting together, the capture gauge decreases more slowly in the fishing minigame. So it says while fighting together, which means you need to have it out. And then when the capture bar is not overlapping. So if you're having a hard time fishing because you don't have like a super upgraded fishing rod, or you're trying to catch something at a high level fishing spot and it's a little too tricky, this pal is going to help out with that. And you can find it on this island. Then we got Finsider. Finsider can be found in the overworld or fished in the desert area. Finsider Ignis. That's going to be a bit higher level for the Faybreak Island and then the one to the northwest of the volcano. What do these guys do? While on team, helps carry supply, decreasing the weight of weapons. So we have weapon decrease, we have armor decrease, and then this is going to be the same thing. Decreases weapons, also increases the attack power of fire pals. And here we have a pal that has kindling and watering. Then we have Ghangler, watering level 4. Master Night Angler can be ridden to travel quickly across the water while fighting together. The time it takes for pals to bite during the night is reduced. So you get quicker fishing at night. That's kind of interesting. And then you can find it on this island over here. But then we got Ghangler Ignis. So we have a random spot over in this sanctuary area, and then fishing on Faebreak is going to be how you get it. So bit more in-game, but it's worth it for the level 4 watering, level 3 kindling. And then it's just going to be the same thing. Travels quickly across water, and then at nighttime your fishing speed is reduced. Whalaska can be ridden. While fighting together, fishing minigames begin with the capture gauge more filled than usual. Additionally, capture gauge increases more rapidly while the bars are overlapping. So you fish it a lot faster with the Whalaska. That also means you can have like the synergy of having a Jelliette on your team. That's going to give you more items when fishing. Also, since you're riding it, if you're doing the salvage as well, have a Jellroy. That's going to be pretty nice. Then we got Whalaska Ignis. While fighting together, fishing minigames begin with the gauge more filled. Then the bar fills more rapidly. And then we have the legendary pal, Sentinel of the Great Sea. While in team, follows up your attacks with spear strikes. Neat. Can be ridden to travel quickly across the water, while mounted can leap high into the air over water. So yeah, this dude travels pretty fast over the water. If you're going to be doing a lot of salvaging for the new item Coralite, very recommended that you get the saddle for this pal. And as you saw on the maps, the fishing spots aren't just going to be randomly out in the ocean, so you don't have to worry about this dude for fishing. Then we can see Sentinel of the Great Sea. Yeah, not a bad jump. Now, the way you catch this dude is in the dungeon Sealed Realm of the Glacial Core. So that's going to be the iceberg to the north. And then I also need to show where you get the whale. So, Whalaska Ignis, that's going to be Faebreak. And then also you can fish around the oil rig and find it. Whalaska, it's going to be on the south part of Faebreak. And then a little bit over here. Also, you can just find it wandering around up in this northern iceberg. So that's going to be it for the new pals, but we also have elemental versions of older pals, so let's go and check those out. Krojiro Noct, fishing on Sakurajima. Azurobe Christ, fishing on the North Iceberg, as well as South Faebreak, and then the big oil rig. Then we have Dumud Guild. Yeah, bet you weren't expecting this to be a pal. So, high quality pal oil when assigned to the ranch, and a small chance for gold coins. Don't know how many gold coins, if it's worth like getting a lot of this for the high quality pal oil. I just think like a money factory is better, or just like some kind of money farm, and then you buy the high quality pal oil. It has some pretty sparse habitat locations though, so good luck, have fun. Then we have Celeray Lux, so when fishing in like the north middle part of the map, you can just kind of fish it up, and that's kind of cool. We have Killamari Primo, so that's going to be found around the Volcano Island. Then we have Pengking Lux, so fishing on Sakurajima, one of the new islands, as well as Pengolet Lux, which can be found at nighttime in the desert. But the Pengking Lux is interesting because now we have watering and electric as well. So just a pretty useful pal to have, also good for opening chests depending on your team composition. And then we can go to the fishing spots in the base. Also, the way that fishing works is like the sparkly spot is going to be an alpha pal, and then the big like purple glowy is going to be a lunker. That's going to have its own benefits and extra drop tables. So you can get better items by fishing those up, and then you can also see a lot of the new pals, and you can catch a lot of the new pals in your base at the fishing spots. So that's where we're headed to now. So you can even get Whalaska Ignis and Dumud Guild from fishing a large fishing spot. Alright, I also wanted to show some of the items you can get. That's going to be like other videos and guides and bringing all that together because, ooh, look at that. Passive Corallium, or Coralum. And other, like, money generation and resources. Oh yeah, Flack Ignis is another one I missed. So, like, getting Flack Ignis early on for water plus fire, that's cool. And once you have the pals registered, you can see which pals you can catch from the fishing spots. So if you're missing one of these pals, it might just be easier to make a fishing base and then fish at the shadows, and then you get the bait, and there we go. good way of just kind of farming a lot of different pals as well, and it's a nice passive way of getting items. So that's going to be it for the new pals, but what about the Terraria pals? Because in the trailer, you could catch some things. And there you go. So in the Terraria dungeon, which is going to be on the south part, so you go Fisherman's Point, then you go a little bit southeast, Sealed Realm of Terraria, you can catch everything inside of the dungeon. And it's kind of like a human pal in that they're not super useful or officially registered, but they have a bit more utility. There's actually skills that they have their own abilities. While in the team, appears near the player, automatically picks up nearby items. So that's kind of neat. It's like having a Floppy around, and if you're a really big fan of Terraria, you can just play it like that. Sword has Dark Pals dropping more items. Cthulhu does fun stuff when activated, charges and attacks nearby enemy. Has Servant Call, so you can also summon little dudes around. Let's actually check that out. So yeah, you can just have the Eye of Cthulhu, and then Mad Eye Lunge. It rampages, it does its thing. Cool. The slimes are interesting because they're super slow, but you can also just get like a natural jump height from them, and you don't need any kind of saddle, so maybe this is something. Oh, and I guess it just kind of like squishes things. Look at him go! Wait, why is he that fast when he wants to run over? But alright, yeah, silly, fun stuff. Hopefully that's all the new pals and I didn't miss anything. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.